How's everybody doing tonight? Or not tonight, but today? Or this morning? Sorry. All right. So I got the mic here. I'll probably be walking around a little bit, so hopefully I won't be jogging for you guys today. But does everybody have this little pamphlet in your booklet? If you could, please pull that out. I think it's in the front of your binder there. If you could pull that out and just follow along with me. So I don't have any slides, so what I'll be doing is I'll be talking from my pamphlet, so I'll be glancing down a little bit here, but we're just going to go through this real quick. Now, it is very, very likely that you will, and we're going to be talking about managing distressed students. So it's very highly likely that you will encounter a distressed student, okay? So we want you to be prepared, right? And we want to facilitate a positive outcome. So we're going to talk about a few things today that can kind of help you manage that, so you'll be prepared, okay? So first we're going to look at some of the warning signs or distress signals. We're going to talk about that. Then we'll go into some intervention guidelines, or what I call skills that you can use to kind of help you with the intervention process. And then we'll just, on the back of the pamphlet, there's just a little list of referral resources. This is just a pretty small list. There's more resources out there, but these are some of the main ones that we have here on campus. Okay? So starting out with the distress signals or the 6 warning signs. These are the most common warning signs. Of course, there are more, but these are the most common ones. Starting out with depression, okay? We all, sometimes in our life we're going to be depressed, right, or sad, okay? And that normally looks like, you'll have a couple symptoms, right? You'll go a couple days, and then you'll be okay. You'll move on. Now, with clinical depression, it's a little bit different. You're going to have multiple symptoms, right? And you're just not going to be able to shake it. It's going to go on for a long period of time, right? And so this can be distressing to individuals when that happens. So some of the symptoms that we would look at would be sleep disturbances, poor concentration, change in appetite, a loss in interest in doing activities that maybe they've done in the past, okay? Withdrawal from friends and family, poor hygiene, low self-esteem, and one of the big ones, a preoccupation with death. That would be a big negative symptom or a big sign, warning sign for you. Can everybody hear me okay? Okay, I'll talk a little low. All right. Second would be agitating or acting out, okay? And this would be inappropriate behavior, social behavior, right? Which would include disruptive or antagonistic behavior, restlessness or hyperactivity, and an increased use in alcohol or other drugs or substances, okay? So that would be another indicator. Another big one here would be disorientation, right? A student who kind of doesn't fit in or who may seem like they're out of it, right? So some of the things you would look for on that would be they may be forgetful or they may lose things, right? They may have a misperception of reality and what's going on around them. They may also have, they may ramble in their speech or have disconnected speech, or they may just seem bizarre, right? So, or their behavior may be out of context. So that's another thing you want to look for. The next one would be drug and alcohol abuse, right? So with that, you're going to be looking for intoxication. So you may be interacting with the student, and you may smell alcohol, you may smell some marijuana, or there may be some other indication of drug use. So you want to be aware of that, because that could be a big indicator of some problems that are going on, okay? So this is the big one here. The next one would be suicidal thoughts, okay? Now, with suicidal thoughts or with individuals who attempt suicide, a lot of times there are indicators or messages, right? And sometimes we just have to be aware of able to know how to pick up on those. Can't always, but a lot of times they're out there. They're nonverbal and verbal, okay? Could be a verbal statement. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be a burden anymore. Or they could just come out and say, I want to kill myself. Right, so that's a big one. I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? That would be a big warning sign. Some of the nonverbal ones would be vague goodbyes, saying goodbye, but I mean, there's no reason for them to be leaving at the moment. Another would be taking care of their personal affairs, their financial affairs and things like that. Okay? And there's one more. Where's it at here? Okay. Well, those are the main ones. Okay, those would be the main ones. The next one would be violence and aggression. Okay? This would be dangerous behavior or physically violent behavior, verbal threats, threatening emails or letters, harassing or stalking behavior. Okay? Those are some of the things we want to look for. And also in your classes, paper exams that contain violent or threatening material. I think he kind of touched on that a few minutes ago. So these are some of the warning signs. As I say, there are more. Depression is the most common. I think a lot of people would think that violence would be up on the list. That's probably because of a lot of attention that's gotten in the past. But depression is the most common. That would be the most common one that you would normally see. Okay. So the next thing we're going to talk about is intervention guidelines. Now, intervention is very important. Really is actually one of the most important things. Studies have shown if we can intervene early, we can prevent a crisis. We can actually prevent it from happening. So that's what we kind of want to do, right? We want to have a positive outcome. So we want to try to prevent that crisis before it happens, and that's how we can intervene. And here are just a few guidelines that we can use. We want to keep it simple, right? We don't want to complicate it too much. So first thing we want to do is safety, all right? So you want to have a safe distance between yourself and the student. We're kind of still evaluating the situation, right? Trying to find out what's going on. We know that the student is distressed, so we want to have a safe distance. And you want to also have a safe escape route, okay? So just in case, you need to get out of the room or whatever the case, you want to be aware of that, okay? Because like I said, we're still evaluating what's going on. We're trying to find out what's actually distressing the student. Okay, the next thing is we want to avoid escalation, right? So we want to try to create an environment that's non-judgmental. We want to listen, and we also want to be supported. So we don't want to, basically we want to avoid humiliating and intimidating responses, right? So that's very important because when a student's distressed, they can be easily provoked. And so we don't want to make the situation any worse, and we also want to create an environment where the student is willing to communicate with us, right? So we want to avoid escalation. We also want to ask direct questions, okay? Don't be afraid to ask direct questions. Actually, it'll probably, the student they'll be a little bit relieved because it's going to actually give them an opportunity to express themselves. Maybe they didn't know how. Maybe they didn't feel like anyone was concerned. So this will actually give them an opportunity to kind of let you know what's going on. So don't be afraid to ask questions like, are you drunk? Are you confused? Are you having thoughts of harming yourself? So just be straightforward and direct, okay? Don't assume that you're being manipulated, okay? Sometimes, students will try to take advantage of situations or manipulate the system, but that's not your job, right? Your job is just to find out what the problem is and then to refer them to the appropriate resource or professional that can help them. And just leave that up to the professional to kind of take it from there. So because individuals who are seeking attention, they can be in danger too. They may have some problems. That may be the reason that they're doing that. So they may have some problems too. So just don't worry about that aspect of it. Just give them the help that they need. Okay? And the last one here is know your limits. In most situations, you will be able to help the student. You'll be able to refer them out. And I say hold on to this. Keep it close by, review it every once in a while. But you'll be able to help them. But there'll be some situations with a student or students, they have some more in-depth problems that need further attention. And so basically, once again, keep it simple. Create an environment where you're listening, you're supportive, find out what the problem is, and then if it's very complicated, you can call over to the counseling center, and we'll consult with you, and we'll talk you through it, and we'll advise you on what the next step would be. Okay? So that's how you would want to handle that. Let's talk a little bit about, some resources, and that will be on the back in the red there. Like I said, we don't have everything listed, but these are some of the resources that are here on campus. Of course, the UA Counseling Center, UA Student Health Center. If you just take a look at those, the UA Women's Resource Center and the UA Police Department, I'll just touch on that for a little bit. You can call and speak to a supervisor on duty. If this is not an imminent threat where the person is, ready to hurt themselves or, they're suicidal or whatever the case. And if you don't know what to do also, and the reason I say that is, we're open 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. We do have an on-call therapist. But if you don't know what to do, you can call UAPD, and they'll get you in contact with our on-call therapist, or they'll route your call to what they deem appropriate for what's going on with that particular student. But here's just a list on the back. You can take a look at that, of the other resources available. Of course, police, fire, medical emergencies, 911. Okay? But in wrapping up, I got just a few more minutes. In wrapping up, just if you're in doubt, tell someone, okay? Your supervisor, you can call UAPD, you can call the counseling center. Learn how to make a good referral. You want to do that, so just review this, okay? Maybe go through your head some scenarios. And I just want to say, check out our website. It has a lot of information on there. Ask, listen, refer. There's some suicide prevention training. And there's some other self-assessments on there that you can take. Some other resources on there, so definitely check that out. We're located at 1101 Jackson Avenue. Okay? Our phone number is 348-3863. You can give us a call. We'll be more than happy to consult with you, to advise you, or to help you with whatever situation that you're navigating through. Okay? And I definitely appreciate your time. Do I have time for questions?